Hey guys, in this video I want to go ahead and talk about exponential function, just kind of introduction to them. En este video voy a hablar de funciones exponenciales y nomás a introducir el concepto. An exponential function is one that models the repeated multiplication of some constant. Una función exponencial es donde tienes un constante de multiplicación que se repite, and which can be depicted as either growing or decaying. Y se demuestra por crecimiento o decrecimiento. Entonces, se ve como esto. So this is what an exponential growth looks like. And you see it starts from left to right. It starts out slow, 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 and all of a sudden it gets steeper and grows very quickly. And it has this line here that it's kind of like a borderline. It doesn't never pass it. It's called an asymptote. Okay, and so from left to right it's going up. So this is exponential growth. And then for this one, from left to right is going down. It's exponential decay. And you notice it has the asymptote as well. Entonces, estas son las gráficas de funciones exponenciales. De izquierda a derecha está creciendo, está subiendo para arriba. Los valores de la y crecen. Y aquí en esta, los valores van bajando de crecimiento así, hacia cero. Nunca llega a cero. Nomás se llega bien cerca al cero, pero nunca llega hacia cero. ¿Ok? Eso es lo primero. Se acerca, pero nunca llega. So, the other thing, guys, is exponential growth is written like this. Y equals AB to the x. Okay, so A times B to the power of x. So, A is what we call our starting value, and that's going to be on the y-axis. And then B is our growth factor, our multiplier, okay? Entonces la A es el número donde comienza, la B es el número que se multiplica, okay? Well, what does that mean? Well, you see here this order right here, 3 and then 6, 12. So what's happening is you're multiplying by 2. So 3, you're going to multiply by 2. And that's the constant of multiplication, is growing by 2. It's multiplying by a factor of 2. Okay, so 2 and then times another 2 right here, and it just continues. Okay, it just continues. And then same thing over here, except over here it doesn't grow, it's actually dividing, right? This is dividing by 3. Esto se divide por 3. Entonces, como pueden ver, aquí se está creciendo, está multiplicando por 2. Pero aquí está bajando, se está dividiendo por 3. Well, remember, multiplication and division are related. So division is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So dividing by 3 is the same thing as multiplying by 1/3. Dividiendo por 3 es lo mismo que multiplicando por 1/3. Okay? So the way you would write this equation here, you would write y equals A. A is your starting value. Now, one thing is this, we don't begin with the first number. Remember, we begin at 0. Comenzamos con el 0. ¿No? Este es el primer número de la serie. ¿Ok? Pero, o de la secuencia. Pero no comenzamos con el 1. Pero comenzamos con el 0. Entonces, ¿qué número va a estar acá? So, what number would be over here if I continue the same pattern? Well, if going to the right is multiplying by 2, then going backwards would be dividing by 2. Okay, so 3 divided by 2 would be 1.5. Or I would just write it like this, 3 over 2. Entonces, si corro hacia la derecha es multiplicando por 2, entonces quiere decir que si corro a la izquierda es dividiendo por 2. Okay? And you can see that works, guys, because it's 48 divided by 2, 24. 24 divided by 2, 12. 12 divided by 2, 6. 6 divided by 2, and so it works. So the equation actually would be 3 over 2. That's my A. The B value, what's my multiplier? I'm multiplying by 2. And then to the power of x. Okay, what about this guy? Well, it would be the same thing. What's my A value? Well, I would need this value over here because that's my first number. So what would it be over here? Well, if going to the right is dividing by 3, then going to the left is multiplying by 3. So then this guy would be 243. Si corriendo hacia la derecha es dividiendo por 3, entonces corriendo hacia la izquierda sería multiplicando por 3. Sería 243. So I can go ahead and write 243. That's my starting value. What's my multiplier? 1/3. 1/3. So you're going to use 1/3 because that's your multiplication. and then to the power of x. But actually there's another way to write it, okay? Let's say you actually wanted to use the first number. Hay que decir que si quieren usar el primer número, entonces se puede escribir así. So you can actually use the first number. It's 3, right? And then the multiplier is still 2. But because you're using the first number, you want to go ahead and let the reader know, or your professor, that you're using the first number. So you're going to have to put x minus 1 because you're using the first number in the sequence, okay? Entonces, si quieren ser el primer número, van a tener que poner x menos 1 porque este representa el primer número en la secuencia. Same thing over here. If you wanted to go ahead and use the first number, you can use 81, and you still use 1/3, and then to the power of x minus 1. Can you do that with the second number? Yes. And then also so on and so forth. So if you wanted to use 6, you would use the second number. So it would be 6 and then x minus 2. Okay, and I want to show you these because these are the equations, and right now we're going to go ahead and see if we can go ahead and graph them. Entonces ahora vamos a hacer la gráfica, and I'll show you guys how to do that. But one thing before I forget is this point here. All exponential functions have, this is called the parent graph. And this parent graph has an anchor point right here. This is like one of the points that it always passes through. Okay, this is where we start. So when we're starting a graph, we're gonna use this as a parent function and use this guy as a guide to, shift it left, right, up, or down. Entonces, cuando estamos haciendo la gráfica de exponenciales, entonces usamos este punto para guiarnos. Okay, izquierda, derecha, hacia arriba, hacia abajo. Okay, so we're gonna use that as a guide, and I'll show you guys how that looks. So we have various functions right here. Tenemos funciones acá. Okay, and so remember, this guy is your starting value. Este es el comienzos. So where do we start? We start at 4 on the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's right here. Okay. Now you look at the 3. The 3 is bigger than 1, and that's going to be growth. And I think I didn't mention that, but el número 3 es mayor que 1. Entonces cuando la B es mayor que 1, está creciendo, es crecimiento. Se va a ver así. When the B value is between 0 and 1, it's going to be decay. It's going to look like this. Okay. Cuando hay la B, la B es entre el 0 y el 1, se va a ver así. Excuse me. Entonces va a ser decrecimiento. Okay. So let's go ahead and see if we can graph it. So this is bigger than 1. Okay. So this is going to be growth. Now remember, we have a horizontal asymptote right here. Tenemos la línea del límite aquí, and then it's going to look like this, passing right through that point, and it's going to be very steep, and that's it. Okay. What about the second one? The second one, same thing. Our starting value is at 5. Vamos a comenzar con el 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to also have an asymptote. Va a tener aquí también el límite aquí. And then it's going to be going downward. ¿Por qué va para abajo? Why is it going down? Because the B value is between 0 and 1. Okay. And that's it, guys. All right. Let's do some more. What about this one? En -2 va a comenzar en -2. Aquí está. Okay. And you also have an asymptote right here. All right. Now, you notice that this is growth, right? Normalmente es crecimiento porque está mayor que 1. So normally you would do this, right? To go up like that. But you see this negative? What does that negative make it do? It makes it reflect. Acuérdense, ese negativo hace que se refleja. So this guy's going to actually reflect downward because that negative is going to flip downward. So what is that going to look like? Well, we're going to still have that asymptote. It's just going to flip downward and pass through that point right there. Something like that. And there it is. Okay. Same thing over here. The last one, -4. negativo 4, 1, 2, 3 right here. All right, and then that is between 0 and 1, so that's going to be exponential decay. Okay, and we're going to have this. Entonces vamos a tener aquí así. Now, what does decay look like? So remember, decay looks like this. All right, the decrecimiento se ve así. But because of this negative, you're going to flip it downward. So this guy is actually going to look like this, right? And then like that. All right, guys. So it's important to understand, this guy here, this is my starting point. Okay, understand this guy, if it's bigger than 1, it's growth. This guy is between 0 and 1, it's decay. And that hopefully gives you an idea of how to graph these. Entonces, espero que les haya ayudado para hacer las gráficas. So hopefully, guys, I'll see you next time, and just keep working hard.